Most beginners don't quit backpacking on the trail. They quit before they ever go. After hiking the Pacific Crest Trail solo and coaching hundreds of women over the last 4 years, I've realized something. It's not about strength. It's not about gear. It's not about age. It's these 10 mistakes that keep beginner backpackers stuck at home and in research mode for years. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Kathleen, a food-motivated hiker, solo backpacker, backpacking coach for women, and the hungry hiker here on YouTube. In this video, I'm breaking down the 10 most common beginner backpacking mistakes that keep most people stuck at home and exactly how to fix them so you can start backpacking safely and confidently this year. Starting with mistake number 1, waiting to feel ready. Okay, waiting to feel ready is the biggest mistake I see beginner backpackers make. I cannot tell you how many women have told me, Kathleen, I just want to feel more confident first. Here's the truth no one tells you. Confidence is not a prerequisite for backpacking. It's a result of backpacking. When I left to hike the Pacific Crest Trail solo back in 2018, I didn't feel ready. Far from it. I felt nervous. I questioned myself the whole way to the southern terminus. Was I making the right decision? Did I have enough experience? Could I really do this alone? I even tried talking myself out of going multiple times. But I went anyway. Confidence doesn't come from planning. It comes from doing. If you're waiting to wake up one day and magically feel brave, that's not going to happen. You have to do the thing you're scared of to build real confidence. Go on a solo day hike first. Choose a short, familiar, well-traveled trail and start with 3 miles and then go 5 miles. Then spend the night in your tent in a low-risk controlled environment like front country car camping or even in your backyard. Every step you take builds confidence. You don't build it by thinking about backpacking. You build it by actually doing it. And once you stop waiting to feel ready, the next thing that usually comes up is mistake number 2, which is thinking you need a backpacking partner. For a lot of us, society has taught us that it's unsafe or irresponsible to go out into the backcountry alone. So we wait and wait and wait for the perfect hiking partner. Then years go by and you're still stuck. Here's what I've learned after hiking thousands of miles solo over the past 8 years and coaching women for the last 4. The safest thing you can do is be skilled and prepared, not dependent on someone else. Waiting for someone else keeps you powerless. Learning skills makes you capable. Now, I'm not saying jump into a 3-day solo trip tomorrow. Start with going on a solo day hike and always tell someone your plan. Learn how to read a map. Practice filtering and boiling water. Build your skills in a low-risk environment. You don't need a partner. You need competence. And competence is absolutely learnable. But even once you realize you can go alone, there's another trap that keeps beginner backpackers stuck, and that's mistake number 3, which is going down the research rabbit hole and trying to learn everything first. Oh, this one, I see it all the time. You've watched 400 YouTube videos, read every gear review, compared 17 backpacks, downloaded 6 packing lists, and you still haven't gone. Having access to all of this information can feel productive, but it's often just avoidance. So how do you sort through all that information and figure out what actually matters for your first trip? You don't need to know everything there is to know about backpacking. You only need to know what's essential for your first overnight trip. Things like how to carry your gear, how to eat, how to sleep, and how to stay safe. That's it. Start with planning one simple overnight trip. Learn only what's necessary. Go on the trip, evaluate what worked and what you do differently next time, adjust, and repeat. Backpacking is learned by doing, not by endless research and watching countless YouTube videos. I've created the free backpacking readiness check, which helps you figure out exactly what's holding you back so you can confidently start planning your first trip. Grab the link to your free guide down in the description below. So once you stop waiting, stop depending on someone else, and stop over-researching, the next mistake shows up. Mistake number 4 is buying expensive gear before you even know your backpacking style. When I coach women inside my program, a lot of beginner backpackers coming into the program tell me they've already purchased all of their backpacking gear, but they haven't even gone on their first backpacking trip yet. And I always ask them the same question. How do you know what gear is going to work for you and the types of trips you want to go on if you don't even know what kind of backpacker you are? Are you the type of backpacker who wants to hike fewer miles and spend more time hanging out at camp? Or are you the type who wants to push bigger miles and spend most of the day hiking and less time at camp? Are you dreaming about section hiking longer trails where lighter gear matters more because you'll be carrying heavier food loads? Or are you more of a weekend backpacker or maybe a once-a-year backpacker? If you don't know what kind of backpacker you are yet, why are you spending all of your time and money researching and buying gear you might not even need, instead of putting that energy into planning your very first overnight trip? Figure out what you like first. Start by borrowing gear from a friend, or rent gear, or buy used gear just to get started. Give yourself space to figure out what you like before dropping thousands of dollars on ultralight everything. And when you do start buying your own gear, focus first on how it fits your body and supports your style, not just how much it weighs. You don't need the fanciest, lightest, most expensive gear to start backpacking. You just need functional gear that works for you. Experience first, gear upgrades later. And once the gear question is handled, the next thing beginner backpackers, especially women over 40 like myself, tend to overcomplicate is the training. Mistake number 5 is training like backpacking is some kind of elite fitness competition. Why do so many of us women over 40 think we need to reach peak athletic conditioning before we're allowed to go hiking or backpacking? Where did we get that idea? Where did I get that idea? Backpacking is walking with a pack. That's it. Yes, strength and conditioning help, but you don't need to train like you're preparing for a CrossFit championship. Your backpacking training can be as simple as going on regular, consistent walks in your neighborhood. Bonus points if you wear your loaded pack while you do it. I recently did a 30-day challenge where I walked at least 10,000 steps every single day, and guess what? Only 4 of those walks were mountain training hikes. 87% of my walking during that challenge was just regular, consistent walks right outside my front door. No dramatic trailheads, no epic summit photos, just consistency. And it worked. Consistency builds endurance. Consistency builds confidence. Consistency builds mental strength. So yes, include some strength work if you can, but don't overcomplicate it. You don't need a hardcore gym program for your training to be effective. You just need to move. But even when your body is capable, your mind can still try to hold you back. Mistake number 6 is letting fear run the show. And I don't mean healthy caution. I mean assuming the absolute worst case scenario is guaranteed to happen the moment you step out on trail alone. There's a difference between actual risk and imagined risk. Actual risk sounds like, what are the real hazards on this trail? Weather, wildlife, terrain, navigation. Imagined risk sounds like, I'm definitely going to get lost. A bear is going to attack me. Something terrible is going to happen. One is preparation, the other is anxiety spiraling. Here's how to not let fear run the show. Start with preparation. Research the trail. Download offline maps. Carry gear that makes you feel safe, like bear spray, a satellite messenger, traction devices if conditions call for it. And always tell someone your plan before you go. Start small. Choose short, well-traveled trails close to home. Confidence is built in layers, not leaps. Manage your nervous system with deep belly breathing and long, slow exhales. And when your thoughts spiral into, this is too hard, replace it with, I'm getting stronger with every step. Redefine fear. Fear is often a signal. It's saying, pause, prepare, pay attention, but it's not always a stop sign. And finally, know when to turn around. Turning around is not failure. It's wise decision making. Set a firm turnaround time before you start hiking and stick to it whether you reach your destination or not. That's strength, not weakness. And if fear is something you're really struggling with, I created a free guide called What Fear is Really Telling You, which walks you through how to decode fear and use it productively instead of letting it control you. I'll include a link for that down below. And once fear feels more manageable, the next trap is trying to go too big, too fast. Mistake number 7 is choosing a trip that's way too big for your first backpacking adventure. And honestly, I blame ego and Instagram for this one. We see these epic through hikes and dramatic summit shots and think, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well go big. Here's something that might surprise you. My very first solo backpacking trip was through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail in 2018. And let me be very clear, I do not recommend that as your first backpacking trip. It took me 2 full years to plan and prepare for that trip. 2 years. And during that time, I tried talking myself out of it multiple times because it felt so overwhelming. Planning the itinerary, researching and gathering gear, figuring out food resupply, quitting my job, putting everything I owned into storage, preparing mentally to live outside for 5.5 months. That's not exactly a beginner-friendly adventure. It worked out for me, but it was a massive undertaking. Instead, choose something small and close to home. Hike 3 to 5 miles, spend 1 night in your tent, and that's it. That's far more manageable, far more realistic, and far more likely to actually happen. Momentum is built through completion, not intimidation. And when you finally choose a manageable trip, there's one more sneaky way fear shows up, and that's mistake number 8, which is packing your fears. Overpacking because anxiety is whispering, what if? What if I run out of food? What if I run out of water? What if I get cold? What if I get lost? What if I need this random extra thing? So you throw it all in the pack, every just in case, every uncomfortable possibility, and suddenly your pack weighs 45 pounds. Instead, use a packing list. Not your anxious brain, but an actual packing list. I have a free backpacking gear packing list that I'll link down below. When you follow a list, you're making decisions from logic and preparation, not fear. Remember, discomfort is part of the growth process. You don't need to eliminate every ounce of discomfort. You just need to be prepared for the real risks. And even if your pack is dialed in, there's still something that can quietly chip away at your confidence, and that's comparing yourself to younger backpackers. Mistake number 9 really hits close to home for me. As a woman in my late 40s, I don't just pop up and head to the trail like I used to. These days, I have to work at it. I have to work at staying active. I have to work at maintaining strength. And honestly, I have to work harder mentally to even get myself to the trailhead sometimes. Ever since entering perimenopause a couple years ago, my anxiety has increased. It wasn't like this in my 30s, and it wasn't even like this in my early 40s. So if you're feeling that shift too, please know that you're not broken. Your body is changing. Your hormones are changing. Your recovery might look different. Your pace might look different. And that's okay. Yes, younger backpackers might hike faster, they might push bigger miles, they might take bigger risks. But as older, more mature backpackers, we have life experience. We have better decision-making skills. We understand consequences. We know when to pivot. We know when to turn around. That's wisdom. Backpacking is not a race. It's not a competition. And it's definitely not about proving anything to a 27-year-old on Instagram. It's about your experience, your growth, your strength. Comparison steals joy. Focus builds confidence. And here's the final mistake I see over and over again, and that's believing you have to figure this all out by yourself. Even though you might be planning a solo trip, it doesn't mean you have to figure it all out alone. There's a big difference between going solo and doing everything in isolation. And that's actually why I created my program, the Confident Solo Female Backpacker System. Not so you feel dependent, but so you feel equipped. Inside the program, I walk women step by step through planning their trips so they feel confident when they're out on trail alone. Students in the program get weekly live coaching, a private community of like-minded women across the country, opportunities to join me for in-person hikes and backpacking trips where they can apply what they've learned in a safe, low-risk group setting, and they get lifetime access. Here's the truth. Guidance helps short the learning curve. It helps you avoid years of overthinking, second guessing, and stalled momentum. And it gets you out on the trail faster. Remember, you don't need to feel ready. You just need to start. If you've been thinking about backpacking but haven't taken the leap yet, I'd love to know what's the one thing that's been holding you back. Drop it in the comments below. If you like this video and got some value out of it, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week and hit the bell icon to get notified each time new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trucking.